So life on the road, man, that's hard, huh?
Yeah, it is, the sleeping part. You know, it's very sporadic. You.
And aren't you amped up, like after you do a performance like that and the way you play the guitar, you got to be, I'm serious.
Well, yeah.
It's like a natural high.
Especially after a good gig. I mean,
Yeah.
and most of them are good. I mean, there's sometimes you'll have a gig, you go, oh, wow, we were just not firing all together. But yeah, you really, the playing part, yeah, I've always said that you don't get paid for playing. It's the time in between. The 2 hours on stage or 90 minutes is the fun part. It's just getting there and during the day dealing with, things.
Sound check, lighting,
Yeah.
kind of like what we're doing here. Hey, this is Coffee Near Me. I'm Barbara Deeb, and we are on the road. We're in Glasgow. We've got some
Welcome
fun
to
people coming
Glasgow.
up today, Glasgow, and we're talking with music royalty in these parts. Greg Martin, Kentucky Headhunters, Greg Martin Group, Lowdown Hoedown host on Monday nights on D93. I love that show. I love
Well,
the
thank
show.
you. I appreciate it.
You know so much about music. Like sometimes I wish I could just open your skull and like take that knowledge and put it in my
There'd
head.
be a bunch of CDs and albums come out.
Right,
Oh,
right.
Lord, I'm still learning.
But you've been on the road a lot lately, huh?
Yes, ma'am. It's been a crazy year. We are done right now for a little bit. We got a little time off, which is good. We got 4 shows around Christmas to do.
Okay.
One local show New Year's Eve at the Plaza. And then another stone will roll out and we'll have to chip on that one next year.
Yeah.
But we do the road a lot. We start, there's some bands that actually go, well, we're going to tour this many months out of the year. Historically, we usually take off around November,
For the holidays,
Yeah, usually just kind of winds down.
How are the Headhunters after all these years of, you just mentioned a while ago, over half a century you've been making music, and the Headhunters have been together for decades. You guys still like each other?
I actually love those guys.
Aw.
I love those guys more than I do the band. And let me explain that.
Better qualify that, huh?
Yes, and I love the band, but the thing is, they're family, and the only reason I'm still out there, I really like those guys, and I love them, because there's times you get on the road, you're dealing with food issues, travel, and I'm older now, and they are too, and we've been together 50 years. Me, Fred, and Richard have played off and on 50 years this year, and if it wasn't being such a close-knit bunch, now we don't always get along on things.
Well, no,
there's little spats, but they're like my brothers. I love Doug, I love Fred.
But they actually are blood, right? They're connected. Cousins.
Yes, we are.
cousins?
We've got there's some in the lineage. We're connected through my mother's side.
Okay.
Now Doug, he comes in from Missouri, Arkansas, but I've played with Doug since 1981. With Ronnie McDowell. That's another story.
Oh, that is another story.
There's so many different stories.
But you still feel like you're, obviously they want you if you're on the road and they're coming to your concerts.
Yeah, we're lucky.
Right?
We're blessed.
How's that feel?
Well, a lady at church one day said, and I walked in and I came in right off the bus and I was probably whining a little bit. And she said, well, honey, you're not tired of the work. You're just tired in the work.
Oh,
Big
so
difference.
True. It is.
So, yeah.
Because you love what you do.
I do love what I do. I know some people, I wouldn't go through that again, or then I go, well, I wouldn't change anything. I made mistakes,
Would you go through it again?
Oh, yeah, playing music. I made mistakes, on some decisions and things,
But that's what got you here.
That's right. And you learn from those more than you do the good times, You do. And it just depends on how you just have to get up and shake the dust off and go on, But that's what I was supposed to do. I have no doubt in my heart that music was what I was supposed to do. Evidently, I wasn't supposed to work at the post office because it came a time back in 1988, 89 that the Headhunters were trying to get a record deal. I was with Ronnie McDowell. And I knew this music thing, I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be doing this. Took a test for the post office, and it came back. I went, okay, I'm supposed to play guitar.
Yeah, that would.
Not that I just never was real academic, so to speak. I don't know how I got through school. I love school.
School, but what about playing a guitar? That's not something simple. There's a lot to that.
You know, it's just something that came to me, and I'm so thankful that it happened. You know, it's a gift from God, so to speak. You know,
and you have a new album coming out?
We sure do. Headhunters, first time went to England, 2016, did a tour, and one of the last dates, if not the last date, was at Ramblin' Man Fair.
Where's that? I don't know that.
I wish I could tell you where Ramblin' Man Fair is. I'm terrible with the names of the little towns over there. But it is in UK, of course, in England, and big festival. And luckily the tapes were rolling that day, and we got a real energetic set on tape. And when we listened back to several shows, it was evident that this one, even though there's some flaws here and there, was the most energetic and the most electric. Alligator Records out of Chicago, Bruce Eglar and the gang, decided they wanted to put it out. So it's going to drop in January.
So this is number what?
Oh, Lord.
A lot.
9, 10, something like that.
Really? Okay, we're almost out of time. Who have you not played with that you would love?
Oh, Eric Clapton.
Okay. Eric,
hey, Eric, come
listening?
on, let's jam at least.
Okay.
There's a lot of guys.
Who have you played with that you just, wow, was awesome?
Oh, Lord, there's been so many. Phil Keaggy.
Who's that?
You don't know who Phil Keaggy had a group called Glass Harp in the 70s.
Don't know.
He's a Christian artist.
Okay.
Great guitarist. A lot of folks don't know who Phil Keaggy is. Probably at the top of the heap, Ronnie Montrose. Do you know who Ronnie Montrose is? Ronnie was going to produce my band at one time, one of my side bands, but unfortunately, he left the world. You know.
I know. But just to have had that opportunity.
Yes, we got to be really close friends, and I like Billy Gibbons has been a real good friend of mine. You know? And those guys have been real special in my life.
And I bet they feel the same way about you.
I hope so.
I bet they do.
Yeah.
Greg Martin, Kentucky Headhunter, Greg Martin Group, Lowdown Hoedown. This is Coffee Near Me. I'm Barbara Deep. And a special thanks to Cole here at Jitter Cafe on 6880 in Glasgow, Kentucky. We're on the road. If you want to continue the conversation, you know how to do that. And if you'd like to sit down and have coffee with someone special, let us know. Thanks. Cheers.
Thank you.